Hello and welcome to a live broadcast today. My name is Bruce Martin and I'm from Travel Gossip. This is we're just going live now, so thank you for everyone for joining us this morning. This is the first of many live informative chats, live chats coming directly from popular holiday destinations around the world. Travel Gossip and Hangout on Holiday have teamed up to bring you a factual and real-time information series and you can pass on this information to your customers. In the last few days, we have asked you to pose questions to us that you feel will be useful to know, and we're going to do our best to get through those questions for you today. So let's find out what's really happening in resorts. Today is Ibiza, but we plan to host many different broadcasts from local experts and businesses around the world. Our next will be on Wednesday this week, live from Fuerteventura. But first, I'm going to hand over to David Henderson, partner and director of Hangout on Holiday, who will give you some insight in how you and your guests can take advantage of their pioneering platform. Over to you, David. How are you?
I'm very well. Thank you. I'm in Windsor. Not the best of weather today, but we'll crack on, see how it goes. Morning, everybody. Hope you don't mind. A gratuitous 2 minutes, 11 seconds sales pitch of our app's value. So as Bruce says, to play some context around who we are, I'm a partner in Hangout on Holiday, along with a chap called Paul Stanier, whose name some of you might recognise as the original founder of Holiday Taxis. We were overseas reps together in Corfu last century, and in fact most of our colleagues in Hangout are also ex-Med Beach and ski reps, including our overseas director, Sam Lupson, who not only coordinated this session with Bruce, but whose name some of you might recognise as the creator of the Facebook group Stories of a Holiday Rep. So it's no surprise that with our collective travel pedigrees, that we've managed to source a growing community of locals around the Med and a little beyond, who are mostly ex-reps, including Richard here, slumming in Ibiza, who after running the show out there for TUI and Jet2 for many years, now runs his own boat charter business and is very knowledgeable and passionate about his home island of Ibiza. So we really do have an appreciation for the challenges and opportunities of not only independent travellers heading to destinations, but for customers of travel agents, tour operators, villa operators, and hotels and resorts, which is why we're keen to showcase our app's value across the whole travel ecosystem. So essentially, our app platform has evolved around three key messages. 1, resort content. 2, a communications channel. 3, a commercial platform. Firstly, resort content. We essentially aggregate and display quality resort videos and images of ours or an operator's recommended places like bars, restaurants, clubs, beaches, local amenities, and emergency services. And in addition, our pioneering app is the perfect platform to showcase a comprehensive portfolio of in-app, bookable experiences, trips, attractions, and events, all which can be on sale 24/7, even prior to departure. Secondly, a communications channel. We believe travellers are increasingly demanding better comms channels with their agents or operators, and our live chat functionality throughout the app was specifically designed to accommodate this. Think of this also as a kind of locate and inform broadcast channel to alert or update your customers who are either in resorts or en route, either about a local outbreak of COVID or in the highly likely event of yet another tour operator or airline failure. 3, a commercial platform. Regardless of whether you have a co-branded or your own branded version of our app, once your customers have downloaded and checked into the resort, we then have the opportunity to influence and capture a share of your customers' in-resort spend, which, as I'm sure you'll appreciate, is often twice the price of their holiday booking. We essentially capture their in-app bookings of experiences, trips, and events and return a share of those commissions back to our agents or operator partners. So in summary, whether you're an independent agency or part of a multiple, we can work with you to offer your customers a sophisticated but easy to use app for their trip that is content relevant with a live chat comms channel using our locals or an operator's reps and where you can benefit financially from a share of your customers' previously unattainable in-resort spend. Hope that makes sense, and on that basis, I'll hand back to you, Bruce.
Thank you very much, David. It's great to hear about the platform there. We're going to hand over to, well, we can say hello to Richard, who is live, hopefully, in Ibiza. Are you there, Richard? Yes, I can see you. A bit pixelated this morning, but hopefully it will improve. Can you hear me okay? Oh, no. Hopefully we're going to get Richard sound working in a moment. But we've got the question. Oh, you can hear now. So, we've got some questions for you, Richard, because you're in the resort there, and lots of travel agents are keen to know, kind of firsthand from experts that we can trust, what's happening in resort. I wonder if you could just give us a quick overview of what the situation is, and then we can get on to some of the specific questions.
Experiencing a little technical difficulty at this end, guys.
There's a big delay there, I'm afraid. So I don't know if you want to just move to a.
In Centralia on the east coast of Ibiza, which is where I live. But my current position, I'm always out and about covering the whole island, and obviously it's very interesting to see the island starting to open up and come back to life as obviously restrictions are eased, and people get back to some normality and back to normal life. And of course, as people now, which is very exciting, are starting to arrive again. Flights coming in from many destinations.
Great. And what are the procedures like at the airport at the moment?
So when people are arriving at the airport, obviously the airport is substantially quieter than it would normally be at this time of year. I have been to the airport the last couple of days to meet friends and family that have arrived onto the island. And on average, they're coming through the airport in half an hour to 40 minutes with their luggage. So it's quite a quick process currently. That could obviously get a little bit longer as more flights come in and more people start to arrive. And when you do get to the airport here in Ibiza, it's a very simple process. Obviously, you'll go through the passport control, the security. There are infrared heat scanners or heat cameras, which are taking temperatures of people as you walk in. So it is an automated process. It's not, as you may have seen on the news or in the media, a manual handheld temperature check for each individual person. So it is a very quick process. In actual fact, you don't even realize it's probably happening. And then on top of that, you do have to fill in a form, which just is very simple: who you are, where you're from, where you're staying, how long you're going to be here for. And there are some brief questions around if you have had or shown any symptoms of coronavirus. But that form, you can get it when you land. My suggestion would be to do it before you arrive. It's downloadable online. Most airlines are sending it directly to their passengers before they fly. And yeah, it's one form per person. That's quite important. I had some friends that arrived and they thought that it was just one for the group, but it's one form per person. So that's probably the best tip with that. But it's a very fluid, simple process when you arrive. So regarding the masks, it is very lenient, I would say, is the word to use. Obviously, there's a lot of personal choice and obviously consideration for others that you need to really take into account. But on the whole, now it's not a necessity in most situations to wear a mask anymore, except for in large stores where maybe social distancing is harder to do, like supermarkets, which would maybe be a common place that obviously our customers would be visiting. Yes, in the chemists, DIY stores, garden centres, but whether that's the kind of places that our clients and customers would be visiting. But as long as you can maintain social distance, really face masks are not being used very widely at all. Like I say, it is a personal choice and of course consideration to others. But bars, restaurants, walking down the street, general day-to-day going about your business, most people now are not wearing masks here, unless, like I say, it's their own personal choice that they wish to do so.
Okay, thanks. And what about the beaches and the sea? Are you able to go on the beach and swim in the sea? Sorry, we lost Richard there. Hopefully we're getting back in a moment. Maybe just move to a holding screen, Sam, if it's there, then we can just reconnect him.
You can hear me, but
oh, that's better. Blimey, that's really good.
Hey,
we start asking a question about the beaches and swimming in the sea, Richard. Can you give us an update on that?
Yes, Bruce, of course. It's open. It's as simple as that. As long as people maintain, again, the social distancing and are considerate to others, the beaches are open. There's a beautiful beach right behind me here. You can go swimming in the sea. No restrictions except for, just being sensible and keeping your distance. That's it.
Okay, cool. Ibiza is obviously famous for its nightlife. I guess many people know that the big parties are not happening this year. But what about the local bars? Are the bars open? Are they open late? Can you dance?
Are they open? Yes. Can you dance? No. A little bit of more detail. So at the moment, bars that have a late license till, let's say, as an example, 6 o'clock in the morning, they must close at 2 a.m. So that is the latest any bar is currently open, 2 o'clock in the morning. If they don't have that late license, and of course they're closing at their normal regular hours, midnight being the average kind of time. Venues that have a capacity of 300 people or less and may potentially have dance floors, unfortunately, we're not allowed to use them at the moment. So they are tending to use that space and utilize that space for more chairs and tables, of course, at the social distance agreed measures. So are bars and restaurants open? Yes, there's a lot open, and there's more opening. I think that probably the key message is it's a very fluid situation. Obviously, the first major flight started coming in 6 days ago, and I foresee in the next couple of weeks we're probably going to see changes to everything that's happening. But there's certainly plenty to do. There's plenty open. There's music being played. There's cabarets going on. So certainly something to keep everybody entertained in the evenings.
Great, thank you. Those are our kind of like setup questions, if you like, but we had lots of questions from travel agents over the last few days. So if you like, I can put some of those to you now. And there's been a few questions coming in live, like during this broadcast as well. So Rachel Elson of Mahays Travel says, will they still have their boat and party cruise extensions? And if so, are they limited numbers?
Okay. So there are no boat parties this summer. Again, I have to say at the moment, but as we speak now, there are no boat parties. But what the boat party companies have done is they've adapted, of course, like everybody's had to in these times, to try and offer some kind of product. So they're doing, the boats are running with obviously a much less capacity, 50 to 70% less capacity. So they have zoned the boats off into, if you will, little VIP areas. There will be staff on the boats that will be coming to you to serve you, so you don't have to get up, you don't have to move. And it's very much more a relaxing cruise, beach hopping, visiting neighboring islands such as Formentera, stopping off, swims in the sea. And a lot of the boat companies have invested heavily in excuse me, in a lot of inflatable products, so you can have some fun in the sea and when you're jumping in off the boat, etc. But the traditional boat party that maybe people envisage, that is not happening this year, unfortunately, and that's primarily due to we can't dance and also the social distancing of too many people on the boat.
Okay, makes sense. Thank you. Alex Brooke from Needful Travel asks, are the hotel pools open? And will there be entertainment anywhere? I guess in the hotels.
Yeah. So are the pools open for the hotels that are open currently? Yes, they are open. Again, it's very similar to beaches. It all comes down to maintaining the social distance around the pool, and that is obviously being monitored by the hotel staff, the lifeguards, etc. You're not required to wear masks. In terms of entertainment, externally to the hotels, we've already covered that. There is certainly stuff going on. I was speaking to a hotel manager at the Balansat Resort, which is up in San Miguel, just yesterday. Their hotel is open. They run a big family program there. And yes, all of their services are on offer. Again, they're trying where possible to do that outside because it just makes more sense. The larger hotels that maybe we would expect to have entertainment, unfortunately, haven't opened just yet. So I don't have a definitive line of what they might be doing. But it seems like everybody is trying to offer all the services that they can, just within the restrictions that are being placed upon us. So my honest answer is I think we will see entertainment, but it might just be scaled back slightly. And of course, there's going to be less area for people to be able to enjoy that, but there's going to be less people at the hotels. So I think we need to watch the space on that one, but there is certainly entertainment being offered. Okay.
Just to follow up on that, Trish Griffiths asked live, so are the sunbeds spaced apart, like they're on the beach?
Yes.
Yeah.
Yes. Well, anything that is outside of our control, so besides putting our towel on a bit of sand on the beach, but the sunbeds at the hotels, by the pools, the sunbeds on the beach, at the beach clubs, etc., tables in restaurants, it's all done and socially distanced for you.
Okay. Barbara Charlton says, does Spain have a group number limit like we do? Well, until recently it was like 6. Is that the situation in Spain?
Yeah, well, at the moment, if you're meeting outdoors, so on a beach, let's take that as an example, you can have up to 30 people in a group maximum.
Right. That's outdoors, yeah?
Yeah, outdoors. I mean, indoors, if it's in your own home, there's not, to my knowledge, any restrictions on that currently. We are in what they're calling the new normal. But externally, it's groups of 30, and obviously, like I said, with venues where you would go and obviously then be interacting with strangers, etc. Their capacity is at 75%, subject to social distancing. So if they can't get 75% capacity and maintain social distance, then that capacity is reduced to maybe 60%, 50%, so that there is that social distancing between the people in there.
Okay, thank you. A couple of questions on Arlene Sloan and Elaine DeCur both asked about kids clubs. Are kids clubs running?
Okay, so going back to the Balansat Resort, and like I say, it's a massive family and one of the most popular family hotels, resorts on the island. The answer is yes. They do have the kids club running. A lot of it is at the moment, and again, it's because we're only just getting the season going. Like I say, most flights are only coming in for the last 6 days or so. It is kind of like an on-demand service, and it comes down to the feasibility of, and the viability of it in terms of how many children might want the service, and obviously how many staff they need to employ to offer and run that service. But certainly at the moment, of the places that offer it, yes, they are open and running. Again, maybe the activities have changed. It's outdoors, they're being socially distanced, etc. But I do expect that some of the bigger hotels, the bigger chains that the tour operators maybe use once they open up, will obviously follow the same line. But they're not open yet to get a direct answer from the hotels, unfortunately.
Okay, thank you. If anyone wants to ask any more questions briefly, just add them in the comments on the Facebook Live feed, and we should see them on our screen. But we're coming to an end shortly. We've got another question here from Kerry Burnham asking, are taxis taking full capacity, or do we have to wear masks in them? Are taxis running, and do you have to wear masks in the taxis?
Okay, taxis are certainly running. Do you have to wear masks? Officially, no, but I think out of pure courtesy, people should. And in terms of the capacity, no one is allowed to sit in the front seat with the driver. The drivers have got plastic screens put up between the front and the back seats. So at the moment, are limited to 3 people sitting on the back seat only.
Okay, great. I'm just checking to see if there's any other questions coming in. I can't see any at the moment, but if you want to just jump on now, guys, and add in a question in the live, then we can answer them before we finish. Is there anything else that we haven't covered, Richard, that you'd like to say for until we haven't covered already?
No, I think just to remind people that, like I say, it's changing on a daily basis. I mean, if you take the venues, the evening venues, the clubs, etc. Although most of the big clubs have come out and said they're not opening this year, that's kind of like gospel. But the smaller venues, that's being reviewed every 15 days. So we could see movement in obviously the current restrictions and whether we can or can't dance, etc. And yeah, just because it is so new for everybody, like I say, 6 days of flights, I do think that once tour operators start to come in, the middle of July, 14, 15, 16th of July, again, I think we'll see some more changes, some more updates, hopefully some more relaxation as well of the rules. So it's just a very fluid situation. If people need to know on a daily basis, or they need any more information, then jump on the app, and I'm happy to try and help people out on a one-on-one basis.
Okay, cool. A couple of questions just before we leave, if that's all right. You mentioned about the relaxation of rules. What is the rule at the moment exactly about 1 or 2 meters? What's the actual distance?
2 meters.
2 meters, okay. Quick question.
Sorry, Bruce, they are looking to bring that down, but at the moment it's still 2 meters.
Okay. Quick question about if you arrive at the airport and you do have a temperature, what do you think happens next?
You're taken to the hospital at Can Mises, where they will obviously do a full swab test, and subject to the results of that, obviously you will be treated or not, released, or potentially, I guess, I don't know of it happening yet. I guess potentially you could be sent back home, but I haven't actually had a case of that happen yet. So, but I mean, there has been obviously, I think it's only natural to say, not just in Ibiza, but in Spain and the rest of Europe, as lockdown is released, we are seeing, a few extra cases that are coming up on a daily basis. But we had a fantastic and very hard lockdown here, so it's a very, very safe place to be at the moment.
Great. 2 quick questions about hotels. In fact, they're both on the same theme. Trish Griffiths and Joanne Holmes both asking about hotels. So what about all-inclusives? Are they doing buffets? Is it table service? What kind of measures are in place? Are you aware of at hotels?
Yeah, it's a bit of both. It is the honest answer. Again, socially distanced tables in the restaurant. Some hotels have chosen to do a table service. Some hotels have chosen to keep the buffet option, but it is done on a strict rotation basis. It's not kind of like a free-for-all, for want of a better expression. And even in some hotels, there's now time slots. So, guests on floor 1 come down for dinner between 7 and 8, as an example. Floor 2, 8 and 9. Floor 3, 9 and 10. Again, just to limit the amount of people in any one space at any one time. So it's a bit of a mix and match depending on where you're staying, really.
Okay. Great. Well, I think we've covered most of the questions there. If we haven't, like you say, people can get in contact with you in resort and find out. And also, you're on Travel Gossip now, so maybe you could even just reply to people's comments as well that they might add. Because a lot of people will watch this video after live, so there'll be some other questions come up, I'm sure.
Sure.
But thank you very much for your time, Richard. I'm glad we could stay in contact with you just about. It's a bit pixelated.
Yeah, sorry about the technical hitches there.
That's all right. Well, you've got to try these things. So whereabouts are you, by the way, there? Are you in San Antonio or somewhere else there?
No, I'm based in Santa Eulalia. So this is Santa Eulalia behind me. Well, the sea behind me, the marina. Yeah, so East Coast.
Lovely. Well, I'll leave you to enjoy it and wish you all the best and have a great season.
Thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. So that just leaves me to thank everyone for joining today. If you're watching on record, then obviously you can add your comments there as well, and we can pick up any questions that you might have. So please, if you found this useful, please tell your friends and your colleagues. We're going to be coming back on Wednesday at 11 a.m. live from Fuerteventura. So we find out what's happening out there. And again, add your comments on we'll add a new event, and you can add your comments to that Fuerteventura event, and we can put them up in the questions later on. So until then, have a lovely week, and we'll see you soon. Okay, bye-bye.